Hygge is not a merchandise thing for us in Denmark. It's just basically, if I can boil it down, it's to enjoying the simple things in life, enjoying every day. And usually it's connected to nature or those social connections with friends or family. So it's just really, basically, it's decluttering all the excess from around us, from the noise that we have, even the belongings that we have, and we're just boiling down what is really important.
Well, welcome today. I'm so excited. Today I have the awesome Diane in Denmark to talk to us about Hygge. She told me it's not Hygge, it's Hygge. Diane is an expert in this wonderful tradition of coziness, year-round coziness. And because it is now winter, I really am leaning into that. I have a candle going here, and I just want to jump in right now to my interview with Diane so we can learn all about Hygge. So join me as we watch that together right now.
I'm Diane in Denmark, and I am the lady with the pom-poms if you've ever watched me on YouTube. And I help people to implement some good routines into life so they can get more joy. We're just kind of simplifying everything. And I'm big on the Hygge because I'm here in Denmark. We have the long summer evenings, which are fantastic. And then we have the dark winter days, which are not so fantastic. And that's why I'm a big fan of Hygge.
I love it. So could you explain what Hygge is? Because a lot of people, they don't know what it is.
Yeah, or they've maybe seen it, or they've seen products advertised as you must buy this and then you can get the Hygge. The Hygge is not a merchandise thing for us in Denmark. It's just a way of life. And if you're watching from the Southern Hemisphere, or maybe you're watching this video in high summer, we Hygge all year round. It's not just a thing for the winter, but winter is when we really come into our element and we can do it max Hygge. It's just basically, if I can boil it down, it's to enjoying the simple things in life, enjoying every day, and usually it's connected to nature or those social connections with friends or family. So it's just really, basically, it's decluttering all the excess from around us, from the noise that we have, even the belongings that we have, and we're just boiling down what is really important. And that's what Hygge is. It's just taking those times, being deliberate, because it's not just going to happen on its own. So sometimes it will, but you may have to work at it in the beginning. But just enjoying the everyday, the small things.
Oh, I love that. And how long have you lived in Denmark, Diane?
I moved to Denmark over 20 years ago. I'm from Edinburgh, Scotland, where it's also very dark and cold in the winter. And I moved to Luxembourg, right in the heart of Europe. I was working at the European Supreme Court for the British judge, and that's where I met my husband, who is Danish. He was working for the Danish judge. I was working for the British judge, and then swept me off my feet. And then we moved here in 1998. And then we had kids. We've got 2 kids. So I've been in Denmark for 23 years, and I'm now Danish. I have Danish citizenship. Very proud of that.
Congratulations. Yeah, I'm sure that is very important. When you live somewhere, it's nice to be a citizen.
I feel Danish, and my husband often says I'm more Danish than the Danes because I've taken on board all the Hygge, all the traditions. There are so many traditions here, which is quite crazy. But I think it's because Denmark is such a kind of modern country. You know, when you think of Denmark, you think, oh, very modern, cutting edge. But actually, they really hang on to the past, and they love their traditions.
That's really nice. I feel like in Canada in particular, it just feels, I mean, we do have a culture, but it feels like not much of one.
But you do have some high days and holidays. That you have Thanksgiving as well, don't you?
Yeah, that's on this Monday, actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, we have. But I think that it's probably really nice, especially in the winter when it's very dreary. And for me, the seasonal affective disorder, as I've gotten older, I'm in my mid-40s now, it's way worse than it was when I was younger. When I was younger, I would always be like, I love the rain. I like the dark. I don't care. I did not get bothered by winter. I mean, I was always happy when spring came, but now I'm just like, basically right before Christmas, I'm like, okay, I can't handle this dark anymore.
Yeah. And I'm the same. I'm actually, the worst time of the year for me is actually the month of October. And I know a lot of people love autumn, fall. This is the worst month for me to get through, but I've got coping strategies, leaning heavily into the hygge. But I think, especially for us here, we go from, in Denmark in the summer, we have long, endless summer nights. Mm-hmm. And it's light until 11:30 p.m. at night. And then it starts getting light again in the morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. So it never really gets dark. Yeah. And now we are in the month of October, and it's already dark by 7 p.m. in the evening. So when you consider just a couple of months ago, we had 11:30 at night, and now it's 7 o'clock at night. We feel kind of like that daylight has been snatched away from us. I mean, that's 4 hours, 4.5 hours daylight, and it's just going to get worse moving through to December and January. But as I said, that there are plenty of ways. If you're feeling like that, even, for you, Robyn, maybe it's winter. Other people, they also get seasonal affective disorder in spring. It can happen any time of year. And I can give you some tips, and they all relate to hygge. It's all about, for example, one, the seasonal living. And I'll give you an example. Right now, October is difficult for me. I am not into the October colors and the oranges and greens and browns. Worse for me. But I'm making an effort. I do have I'm going to wear an orange sweater this week. I've got some green sweaters. I'm going to lean into it. I'm meeting a friend, my bestie, Erica from America, and we are going to seek out some pumpkin pie. Now, that's not my tradition, but even here in Denmark, we have some American places which serve pumpkin spice lattes. So that's not my culture. It's not my kind of thing, but I'm embracing it. I'm using the apples that we have in the garden to add the apples to the dinners that I cook. So it's just taking what is in the season and really leaning into that. And even if you don't actually experience the seasons, maybe you're in Florida and you only have 2 seasons, just take those elements and it helps to carry you through. It really is fake it till you make it, and you learn to love the little changes that you see and appreciate those changes. Eating, we're having risotto this week with wild mushrooms. It's mushroom season. So taking those seasonal things. And the main thing that you've got to do, but I say this all year round, is getting outside every single day. And I know they're in Canada, the weather can be freezing, well below freezing. But if you can just get outside every single day, that does 2 things. First of all, it's putting you into that bigger picture. You're getting outside, and you're kind of all your troubles. We're not getting rid of them, but for a moment, you're outside in something that is bigger than you. You're connecting with something that is bigger than you, the universe. And also, when you come back in, maybe you've seen something when you've gone for a walk. Maybe you've experienced wild weather. You've got something to talk about, share with somebody else. We're not just kind of plonking ourselves in front of the television and binge watching whatever series is on. That's also good. There's also a way to get through winter, binge watch your favorite series. But getting outside every day. And I know a lot of people will say, well, the weather's not great. And we do have the saying here in Denmark, there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. So you're going to maybe have to invest in a nice warm coat, gloves, waterproofs, get out there, especially with the kids, because here in Denmark, kids love getting outside when it's raining, when it's snowing. And I know a lot of the international parents who come to live in Denmark, they're kind of shocked the children are going out playing when it's raining. They're expecting them to run back in. No, that kids love it. So why do we stop doing that as adults? Where we really need to get out of our comfort zone. I'm not saying you have to go out hiking in the hills when it's minus 20 C or F, but just getting outside every day, that really will get you over that hurdle of every day looks grey. Well, actually, there's slightly different colours of grey. It can be blowing a gale. The weather can change. So you've got to be outside and really embrace that seasonal living.
That's great. Thank you. I agree. I think going outside is very helpful. And you've been doing winter bathing for a really long time. Is that right?
I'm a winter bather, which is a Danish practice. And I've been doing that for about 12, 13 years. And we dip in the water all year round, even when it's snowing, even when it's icy. And most people, the Danes don't do it because it's good for your health. Now we have lots of studies. I know it's getting very popular, the winter bathing, but they do it because, again, is that connection with others. You're meeting somebody else. You never go swimming alone. You never dip alone. You're being outside in all the elements. And then from there, I moved into ice swimming. I'm a competitive ice swimmer. And then for this year, I've got a new little ritual which I've added to my morning routine, which is the cold plunge. So if you're not near a lake or see a body of water, you might want to try the cold plunge thing, which is, you can do it also, take a cold shower in the morning, just taking 30 seconds, turn on the cold tap. And it's a shock to the system. So don't do it, obviously, unless you've been checked out by the doctor. But I have a little inflatable, basically like a paddling pool, which I have in the garden shed. And I'm out there in the morning when it's dark. And I go in there, I dip for a couple of minutes. And then I come in, have my hot coffee, and then have my hot shower. And this morning, when I went outside, the sun, the moon was out, stars. And then after I had my shower, then the sun was coming up. So that just gives a little new experience for me. And it's having those daily rituals. If you're finding it very difficult, if you're feeling depressed, see your doctor. But if you're just having that case of the blahs, the routines, the daily routines, which I also teach people on YouTube, those are one of the things that's going to carry you through, because you're going through those daily routines, whatever your mood, you're just doing your routine. And often we can change the mood as we go through the day, but you'll need to add some hygge to your routines. So I'm going to turn the question back to you, Robyn. What can you add to your daily routine to give you a little bit of hygge? Is there anything that you're doing right now? Do you enjoy a special cup of coffee? It's coffee you like, isn't it? You're into...
Well, in North America, a lot of people drink more coffee, but I drink a lot of tea.
Oh, and tea. Oh, yeah, okay.
But yes, for me, one of the things I have done that helps a lot is I work in my office and I have a nice kind of like lamp that's pretty nice color, and I get like the little lights, because for me the lights are helpful when it's dark. And then as the time, because you do time change too, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
In a few weeks. Mm-hmm.
But we do the time change, and basically at the time change is when I put my lights out, because that's when it starts bothering me. And then I put them away kind of when it's the other time change. Mm-hmm. So I do that. One of the things I was thinking of was getting a few more lamps, because I have been told our house is kind of dark. What? Yes, you've got it. There we go.
Yeah, and everybody's been asking about this. This is actually Danish design, and I know there's a lot of knockoff copies coming out. Danish lamps are very famous for their design because they don't kind of startle you. They've got a very nice, soft lighting, and this is one that I've added to my toolbox of winter hygge things. Now, also, I would recommend I have these IKEA ones. Now, these are battery operated. I mean, in my office today, you see I've got the candles going. We love our candles. But if you have pets, kids, fire safety, maybe you want to go with the LED ones. The LED ones, hold on, just put off that one just now. The LED ones are great. I have these outside in lanterns, and they're the IKEA ones on rechargeable batteries. And you switch them on, and then they will light for 6 hours. The new ones are 3 hours at a time, and then they will switch off and then switch on again the next day at the same time. And I use these outside so that in the morning, when I'm going off in the morning, it looks nice and cozy, nice and hoogly, as we say, when I'm going off on my bike in the dark. And I also have these in the bathroom, because in the morning when I have my shower, I shower by candlelight. And that is a super easy way to get a hygge moment into your morning right there and then. You don't, I like to light candles, but these are fantastic, because in the morning, I don't want that harsh, bright light first thing. I like to wake up gently, and that's a super way to give yourself that little hygge moment. So these are great. And these ones, this is a rechargeable USB. And I take this one, you can move it around the house, have it in your little cozy corner. And I also take this when I am going for a moonlight swim with my Blue Tits chill swimmers, ladies. I bring this one onto the beach at night so we can kind of see, when we're cutting the cake and having a hygge moment there. So we're all about the lighting. Lighting is really, really important to us. So candles, USB lights, fairy lights. I also have some of those around the tub in the bathroom. That's a great idea.
I love that. So lighting is very important. What are some other ways to bring warmth and comfort into your space?
The Danes, they really are into the seasonal living, and we don't have a lot of decorations. You don't see a lot of things for sale in stores of autumn decorations, because the Danes, they like natural plants, natural decorations. They can also be fake plants. But for example, here in my office, should point that way, the other way, I have some heather. I've bought some heather because heather is very popular in Denmark in the winter. I've also cut some small flowers from what they call dahlias. Can't remember the name of them in English. And I usually keep them, in my office or on my kitchen windowsill, and then I plant them outside, and I plant them outside where I can see them from the kitchen window or at the entrance to the house. And the Danes like to bring the outside inside. That's a very common expression, bringing the outside inside. And when you're out for a walk, the Danes will often be collecting horse chestnuts. I don't know if you have that type of tree where you are. All different kinds of leaves. They do a lot of crafts. Danish school kids, Danish kindergarten children, there are a lot of emphasis on natural crafts. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's just, some seasonal plants. And that is it. We're not going overboard with the decorating. Just a few things. And it'll be the same thing reflected in the food. Having eating mushrooms right now, or having hot chocolate, really, really leaning into that side of things. But of course, we also have the cozy blankets, the warm socks. But we don't actually have a lot of snow any longer in Denmark. So whenever you see those photos of Hygge and all the snow, that's not Denmark. we have very little snow these days, but we went a lot of Hygge.
Oh, that sounds like very cozy. One of the things, I think once I commented, I made a video and I mentioned Hygge, and somebody said that, and because when you go for your winter bathing, it looks like every time you have coffee or tea and like a little treat with your friends.
Yes.
Yeah. And that looks like that is a must be so good for your spirits in the winter.
That I was actually chatting to a friend the other day. We have this community of winter swimmers, and they're ladies from all around the globe. We've got ladies from Ireland, Canada, Germany, Switzerland, France, Sweden, further afield. And we meet every Saturday morning and we swim in the harbour or at the beach. And for a lot of the ladies, that has really helped them to get over the winter depression. Because even if you've had a tough week, just that connecting with others, and it is cold. And I mean, I know it looks a lot of fun on my Instagram photos or Facebook photos, but we're just huddling there together. Some ladies dip, some ladies swim longer. Many of us are doing personal challenges. And when we come up out of the water, everybody's got their little tin kind of camping mug. The reason that we use those is because the tin camping mugs, you can put your fingers around it and you can actually feel the hot tea. Or sometimes we'll have hot fruit soup, Swedish fruit soup, which is a bit like kind of thickened apple juice or plum juice or blackberry soup. And usually somebody will bring some treats. You know, we all bring, and I bake rolls every Saturday morning. I bake rolls, somebody brings cake, got muffins, and it's connecting with each other once a week. And it's really just a chance to say, what a dreadful week, or, something good happened this week. And when we come away from there, you just really feel invigorated because you've been in nature, but also that connection with other people. And we can really share what's going on, you know, and especially, you know, there can be a lot of tears, something terrible has happened that week or something good has happened, and it's just sharing with others. And that is the most Hygge thing that you can experience. And there are no cozy bonfires, and the wind is blowing, your bathrobe can be blowing down the beach, and it's minus 15 degrees Celsius down there. But the smiles are huge when we come out the water. So it really is that community thing. If you're finding it difficult in the winter, and even if you can't do this in person with others, if you can't meet up with a friend once a week and say, should we go for a walk? Should we meet in town for a dinner? An online community, that's just as good. So you really have to make it intentional, because it's not just going to happen on its own. So you've got to keep on reaching out, but find something that interests you or some new hobby. But the social connection, that's super, super important. That's one of the biggest things of Hygge, is sharing a moment with somebody else.
I love that. That's a nice weekly tradition you can do. And I think I did some of the cold dipping in the ocean as well. And I mean, you feel amazing when you come out, but doing it with friends, and we would go for coffee. And I think that really did help a lot with the winter blahs. Now, do you have any favorite cozy recipes or food that you like to do in the winter? I know, on your channel, you make a lot of the Danish food, like the Abesgiver and...
Yeah, this year, usually I do the Fly Lady Christmas series, prepping for Christmas. This year, I'm doing Scandinavian Christmas, if anybody's interested in joining in that. And it's not going to be your classic, what you might see in a book about Scandinavian Christmas. This is real Scandinavian Christmas as I experience it here in Copenhagen. Also, I have Swedish friends, and you're going to see how we really have Scandinavian Christmas, right down to including the real candles on the Christmas tree. And I know you're all going to fall over backwards worrying about the safety of it, but you'll see what we do for Scandinavian Christmas. It starts in November, the preparations, and it's all about making small things, doing things with the family, making something called confect, which is small Danish sweets. We're not so big into the biscuits, cookies here. That's not so Danish. We have a few types, but the Danes are really into making chocolate and marzipan sweets. That's my favourite thing to do. And æbleskiver, the little Danish donuts, of course. But I'll be taking you around on little tours around Nyhavn Harbour. You'll be able to see the lights, and that's the brilliant thing about Christmas for us here in Denmark. The whole month of December is called the Christmas month, and the word Christmas here is not just a noun; it's a verb. We Christmas, and that means we do all things Christmas cozy, whether that's making things, cutting out paper decorations, baking in the kitchen, going outside, looking at the lights. So stay tuned for that.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I am the same. I absolutely Christmas. See, for me, Christmas, November, December, they're easy months. Like because it's so fun. Like I can do. It's January, February that are harder,
yeah.
But I'm basically, I try to enjoy fall a little bit at the very beginning of November, but then we have Remembrance Day here on November 11th. And after that, that's when I start really planning, because I like to get like the work out of the way in November so I can really enjoy December.
And Robyn, a really good thing, especially because sometimes January can be difficult because often we haven't planned anything.
Yeah.
And what I have now, for example, next year, I already have signed up for another winter swimming. I'm going to the Winter Swimming World Championships. I've got that in the diary. So that gives me a thing that I'm training every week, because if I don't train, so that gives me an extra impetus to get out and do the winter swimming. But also in the month of January, I meet up with friends and we actually say, December can be very busy with family, with things going on, the diary's fully booked. And we say, okay, we're not going to aim to meet in December. Let's meet in January. And often, I know from friends in Scotland, in January, all the restaurants have special offers on. You can eat for half price in January, all those kind of things. So you can actually plan that out now. Say to friends, okay, I know winter's coming up. We're going to be busy in December. But how about we meet once a week in January and we do something together? We go and see a movie. We go and we're going to walk once a week in the forest. We go and eat out, take a packed lunch and sit outside somewhere. But it's actually the planning of it, because when you have the plan, you have something to look forward to. And again, that comes back to the Hygge thing. It doesn't, often it's spontaneous, but we have as much joy in looking forward to something as we do in the actual moment. And the Danes often say to each other, det blir hyggligt. We often talk about, we're going to do that. And you'll say, that sounds hyggelig. And you're already feeling that. You've got those good vibes, just thinking about what you're going to be doing next month or in 2 months' time with friends. I've actually got a countdown calendar because I'm going to the Winter Swimming World Championships with a couple of friends. And we have this little countdown calendar, how many days it is until we'll see each other. And so it's that looking forward to something. So you must plan these things. It doesn't have to be anything big, but plan for January. Plan for those times when it's going to be really difficult for you.
I love that. And you mentioned traditions. So meeting people is helpful. Christmas is kind of easy, I feel like. It's just absolutely full of traditions all around the world. Are there any other traditions you do in the winter, the fall, or surrounding Hygge or...
Yeah, the Hygge is basically an everyday thing for us. Where we have all the Danish traditions, we also have one in November, eating duck, Mortensaften, St. Martin's Eve, I think it's called in English. So there's a lot of feast days and holidays but the hygge is an everyday thing. And as I said at the beginning, it's not just winter. We have summer hygge. Whenever you meet up with girlfriends, it's girlfriend hygge. Men, when they meet up and play FIFA on the Wii and have some pizza, that's another type of hygge. So there's all different types of hygge, and basically anything can be hygge. And the cheaper it is, and the more kind of down to earth it is, the better. We're not needing to spend money to do things in a hygge way, but the most hygge things can be on a really rainy day when it's pouring with rain and you're meeting friends and everybody's soaked through, and then you go into a cafe for some hot chocolate, you say, oh, dear hygge, and it just turns things right around. So anything can be hygge, and practice it every single day. Just look for little things that you can do in your day, whether that's having your favourite tea from your favourite mug, showering by candlelight or by soft light. Just taking those small moments.
I love that. So hygge is hygge. It's more like being very intentional. Just bring like a little bit of intentionality.
A little hug every day. And you can do that with the kids. You know, you can say after dinner, oh, let's get hygge on the sofa together. If you've not already made a hygge basket, make one of those. I've got a video about that. I made it recently. And basically, I have a little basket, and it's beside my favourite reading chair. And mine is in the living room, but maybe you have a favourite place you like to sit out on your porch or in your kitchen. Kids can make one too. And you just put a few things in there that really give you those good vibes. And in mine, I've got my cordless headphones, and I have a book that I'm reading. Maybe you can put Sudoku. Maybe you like to knit, crochet, some pens and paper to do some doodling. The kids can put in some favourite toys in there, a little plushie, some hand cream, a little favourite perfume that you like. Give yourself a little scoosh of perfume. And then when you're just needing a little moment, you can sit in your favourite chair, take a blanket around you and have a look at your basket and just do a couple of things. And also in there, I have some snacks, which are kind of healthy and not so healthy snacks. And, you know, the kids could do the same. A couple of little treats for them. And it's very useful for the kids, especially when they come from home from school. In the winter, it's dark. They've had a long day, they've been social all day, and they just kind of need a little moment to themselves. Make up a little hygge bag or little suitcase, toy suitcase for them. And it just gives them that little time out. So that's all it is, just a little hygge moment.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you, Diane. This has just been amazing.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible. I love all of these tips Diane gave, and I love Diane's channel. You've got to check it out. All of her holiday stuff is amazing. So head on over. I've linked it below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope something great happens for you today, and I will see you next time. Bye.